Hi everyone, today I'm going to be showing you all of my ball pythons. I'm not going to show the ones that I'm going to sell, just the ones that I am planning to either hold back or I am currently breeding. This is going to take a while if I take too long on each snake, so I'm going to try to keep it to about 15 seconds per snake. Some might go a little bit longer, but I'm going to try to keep it just right there, just making a brief introduction of them and their genes. But before I do that, I want to thank everyone again for their support. We just broke 100 subscribers, so I guess you could call this the 100th subscriber video. I know a lot of that has been from the Tinley coverage and people's excitement around that. But either way, we really appreciate the support, the views. We're going to try to keep it to a once a week, at least, maybe twice a week schedule, probably on Fridays for sure. At risk of this video going too long, let's just get started with it. Quick disclaimer, I have a lot of females about ready to lay. I'm not bringing them out to the table. We'll just go into the snake room and show them there. This here is Gwen, the same snake that me and my son had in our previous video. He is a banana ball python. The reason I'm showing him first is because this was my first ball python when I simply just wanted a pet ball python. This was sold to me as a female. Turns out, not so much. This squirrely little dude's name is Gold Dust. He is a Candino het pied. Candinos are created when you take an albino and a candy and breed them together. It creates an allelic combination which will, when bred, pass one copy of either albino or candy down to its offspring. Fun fact, we named him Gold Dust for the wrestler. He has golden eyes. This here is Kai. He is a clown ENCHI pastel. He is the sire to what would be my very first clown clutch ever. I think ENCHI and clown is always a winning formula, as he shows here. His head, as most clowns, is really, really cool, and ENCHI clowns are no different there. This guy here is MICAH. He is an albino het pied. Albino is a recessive trait, much like clown and pied. The het pied in him can't be seen unless we get two copies of the gene. With albino, we see the famous red eyes and the yellow and white pattern. Albinism completely strips it of any color besides that. This guy here is Anubis. He is a bamboo pinstripe pastel, otherwise known as a bamboo lemon blast. Bamboo is a codominant. It's probably my favorite codominant, although it can be a little difficult to work with as it's really, really powerful. And this guy is very ornery because he is in breeding. He really wants me to put him back in with a girl. This guy here's name is Dillinger. He is a Firefly Russo 100% het clown. Russo is a bit of a trickier gene to identify, but it creates a lot of blushing and is a really good enhancer gene. By itself, Russo can be very difficult to pinpoint though. We already focused on this guy once before, but I am promising a full rec tour. So this is our GHI Spot Nose Clown 66% het hypo. I already discussed how awesome he is and how he slots into my plans for the future here, but obviously a lot of cool dark clown combos are going to come from him, and he's just really stunning in and of himself, honestly. This here dude is Dave. He is an ENCHI pastel, possible super pastel pied. We don't know if there's something else going on with him. He's pretty cool, but he has a little bit of a project I have in mind he's going to slot into in the future as well. But an ENCHI really causes the pattern to come out. There's not a lot of white on ENCHI piebald snakes. This one actually has a fair chunk right there. In general, it's more like this pattern. ENCHI always causes that. Pinstripe also does that as well. This is our first piebald on the list. So leading into that, I'm actually going to show you a combination of piebald and a previous snake that I had showed. This girl right here is an albino pied. So it is a double recessive, which means it carries two albino genes, two pied genes, creating an albino pied. So it's got that yellow with the red eyes. Pied just brings in more white. Now, this is what we call a low white pied, and sometimes they can trick you, so it could be het pied. A lot of easy ways to tell that. You have a lot of spiking. If you just look at their belly, you see along the sides, everything here, they always have a pure white belly. She's really cool. I have a lot of good plans for her too. Quick note, I actually am going to be posting one of these for sale. It is not as magnificently bright as this one, but it is an albino pied. Sometimes that is just random genetics. All right, and again, another snake we discussed in our pickups from Tinley. Here is our banana black pastel het clown girl, and she has since shed when she was in that video, so you can get a lot better look at how she looks. The camera still is not going to pick up how awesome she is. These colors are nearly neon. The black pastel brings in a lot of color and works very well with the lavenders on the banana. This girl right here is what we believe to be a Mystic Pastel Fire Pinstripe. I say that because I don't have a lot to go off, because when I tried looking that up, no one seems to have made this before. I talked with several other big breeders. They seem to agree with me, which if that's the case, unless someone's hiding it, this would be a world's first. I'm not gonna try and make that claim right now, but she's really cool, and I'm keeping her to try and prove all that out. This girl right here is named Dottie. She is a pastel OD leopard het clown, 50% het pied. She's going to be paired up with my GHI spot nose clown boy. Try to go for some cool Batmans, but she in and of herself, again, is really cool. Leopard is a really cool gene that just, well, creates leopard spots, seemingly. Adds a lot of really neat pattern, and it kind of darkens up the blacks quite a bit too, almost like a Sharpie marker. This girl right here is Harley. She is a killer Russo clown. Killer is a fancy term for super pastel. So any baby she had would be always getting a het clown, at least, so one copy of the clown gene, and pastel. This girl's name is ORISSA. She is a lesser clown. Lesser is kind of unique in that its name is really terrible, because lesser is more, and it is a really neat gene, and she's probably going to be paired eventually with that GHI spot nose boy as well. All right, we got a twofer here. This is a bamboo pastel pinstripe again. This is the girl who I put in my short that we made, my first snake that I ever hatched. This is also a bamboo pastel pinstripe, so we think. Now you notice there's a little bit of a difference here. Besides her really cool black pattern going on both sides, she has quite a bit of paradoxing. You can see a little bit of the orange on her. Bamboos often get this orange stuff, I think. This orange random paradoxing. The black stuff, not so much. I don't know why that is. I haven't seen that along the whole sides before. If anybody else has in this type of combo, please let me know, because it is really cool. It's one of the reasons I kept her, other than the fact that she was my very first one ever. The only difference here is that this girl here, she might not be pastel. If you notice, she doesn't have as much of the side pattern stuff, but she is 100% het pied. So that could be throwing some influence into it, because het pied can have a slight influence. All right, well, we got our first one in shed. Not so bad out of everything we've done so far. But this girl right here is the sibling to our last bamboo pastel pinstripe het pied. This one I'm pretty positive in saying is just bamboo pinstripe, 100% het pied again. You can see I'm trying to do something here with bamboo pied. Normally bamboo pied is not really all that great, because it's mostly just pattern on the head, if that. Sometimes even a white, completely white snake. Pinstripe and ENCHI bring pattern into pied, so that's what I'm trying to do. This girl here is named AMATERASU, otherwise Aurora for short. She is a albino pinstripe ENCHI. And ENCHI and pinstripe, when put into albino, create really cool oranges. It's kind of a way that you can kind of bring out a lot of orange in albino. All right, we're on to some of the bigger girls that have actually bred for me. This is a spider ENCHI clown. I actually proved the ENCHI out into her. ENCHI and spider together, especially in clown, is pretty hard to prove out unless you breed them, which I proved. Spider is a kind of controversial gene. I don't plan to use too much of it. In fact, I kind of don't know if I want to use it at all. This girl got me into clown pretty quickly. I bought her as she was approaching being a breeder. She was first time breeder for me, and she laid 6 eggs. So she did really good. I don't see any issues with her. She has literally no wobble. Like I said, she got me into clown fairly cheap, breeding my first ones. At some point, she might find a new home as well. If she doesn't, she'll probably be the only spider that I have. This girl's name is EEVEE. She is definitely pied. She's a first-time mom for me. Her eggs are actually due, I think, in a week or two. So that'll be fun in the video that we're actually going to share with you. She was actually in our very first video with the slugs. So she gave me 6 eggs. 2 of them were slugs. So there's 4 eggs that are good in the good old cooker right now that we will be looking forward to very, very shortly. This girl here, her name is Bertha. She is a pied, and again, you can now start to see the high variation in pied. This is what we call a high white pied. There's no genetic difference between this and the last one, presumably. It's kind of crazy and unique. That's what's so cool about it. You never know really what you're going to get. She is not going to lay eggs for me. I thought she was going to, but she reabsorbed her follicles, sadly. So we'll try her again next year, so she gets this year off. This girl's name is ENYA. She is just an ENCHI. She had her first clutch from me last year. Some of her girls are, in fact, most of my whole morph market currently is just leftovers from her because she was a late layer. She's gonna go for me again this year. I think she's enormous. I don't see there being a problem there. She's pretty cool, just being even just a single gene ENCHI. I just kind of wanted to do some super ENCHI stuff, and I got what I wanted. Alright, I know we said we were going to go into the reptile room for the last few girls that I either think are building or I know they are building, but then I got to thinking, why can't I just bring the tub out here and not handle them? So this girl here is a Mystic Fire. She's the mom to the one that I showed earlier that I think could be a world's first. I actually created some bells from her, breeding her with my bamboo lemon blast. Sadly, I didn't keep any because they were both males. I kind of would like to keep one. I don't really need a male of that type right now, but if I get a female, I probably will. This girl here, her name is Pacer, and she was sold to me as a het albino. However, I don't think that she is. I believe I was bamboozled. Either way, she gave me 8 healthy babies last year, and we're pretty sure she's gonna lay any time now. While I saw a very obvious ovulation, I've never gotten a pre-lay shed, and usually after the pre-lay shed, they will lay about 30-ish days later. That's not always the case. Sometimes they throw you a little bit of a loop and they just don't do something that they're supposed to do. She's sold as a het albino. She might just be a normal. If she is a normal, she's a pretty cool one, but I guess we'll find out. Alright, moving on to our third girl who I think is in the shed here. In fact, yeah, she is. And it's what I hope to be her pre-lay shed. This is a caramel albino pied, and I'm breeding her to my clown ENCHI pastel for triple hets this year. This girl's name is Sky. She is a het pied, and she's being bred to a visual pied banana loan, which I showed off in our first video. So hopefully we get a lot of pieds and bananas. All right, this girl's name is Artemis. She is a normal, but I don't know for sure. She's kind of thrown some goofy babies at me, and she's got a little bit of uniqueness to her. Nothing that would make me think anything other than normal necessarily if her babies hadn't all been every so often been getting some interesting ones. She's actually the mom to that bamboo lemon blast that has a lot of speckling on the sides and stuff like that, and I think she's keying in on me right now. So let's quickly move on to the next one before I get bit. And finally, for our last girl, we have Maleficent, otherwise Mel for short. She is a pied, and she is named Maleficent because she is evil. No, she is easily my most defensive snake. You can even see in the footage here that she's hiding most of the time. So, but snakes are never aggressive. They are always at most defensive, and if you work with them, if you're trying to get a pet, that's not even going to be the case either, honestly. All right, so that's all of my holdbacks and breeders that I currently have. I'm always looking to add, and I already have a lot of plans. I'm not going to get into that right now because I could probably talk into a whole video about what I plan. But again, I just wanted to thank everyone for their support for over 100 subs now. If you have any video ideas, please let us know. Please let us know if you... So please...
There you go.
Is he in the shot?
Yes, of course, the shot.
Please let... I got you. How are you? Oh, look, he's ducking down below the camera for us. How courteous. How are we going to make you lose weight? Please like and subscribe so that we can continue to grow the channel. And thank you very much again for your support. I probably said it 400 times, but seriously, it's really cool. Keeps us motivated to want to keep going doing these. Thanks again, and have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.